Hey guys, I decided to get on today to share a little bit about me. A lot of you know my story and, know me from high school or, through mommy things. But a lot of people don't know me, and don't know a lot about my backstory and things that have happened to me and why I'm selling shampoo these days. And so I just thought I would give a little bit of background about me, and I don't know, some of you might find it interesting and some of you might think, why in the world is she telling me this? She's crazy, she's stupid, she's weird, and it's probably true. I'm probably all of those things. But for some reason today I just decided I'm going to share a little bit about me. So my story and why I'm selling shampoo goes back to my trade, and probably how I got to find my trade and what I was happy doing in my life. So what a lot of you don't know about me is that I actually never finished high school. I can't even tell you if I got out of school in 10th or 11th grade. And as strange as that may sound, that is because I was severely depressed. I said I wasn't going to do this. Okay, so anyway, I'm surprised I'm even sharing this because this is probably what I would consider one of my deepest, darkest secrets in my whole entire life. I've been trying to keep that under my hat for a really long time. And only now, at almost 40 years old, do I realize that's part of my story. And, it's what made me who I am. Part of my journey. It's how I found out why I love to do hair and that I love to do hair. Had that not happened to me, I probably wouldn't have gone down that road. So anyway, I was severely depressed. My parents were going through a really, yucky divorce, and I struggled big time. And then with having to move during those years, it was just too tough for me to finish school. So I didn't, and I did continue to go on and get my GED, but that was only after I met my husband, and he helped me get to that point and go get my GED after I had told him my deepest, darkest secret, which he was probably one of the only people at that point I had ever told. Oh, and that was such an ugly cry, it wasn't even funny. But again, now only after 40 years do I realize it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of my journey, my story, and going back to that, so my mom got me in, she tapped into what she saw that I was good at, and at a very young age, at like 17, I guess it was, I was very artsy. I've always liked to do art. I love to draw. Anything I could do creative was my thing, and my mom tapped into that. So my mom put me in cosmetology school. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I went to cosmetology school. I came out of there. I got my license. And I took off. I started doing hair for, it's been well over 20 years now. And it gave me a purpose in my life. And I felt really good at that. I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. That's what I was supposed to be doing. It gave me just a confidence that I really needed, especially after everything I had gone through. So I did that for a really long time. And then I met my husband, and I was really fortunate enough to, not have to cut hair anymore. I did for a while, but I had to move to New Jersey. So I left my clientele that I had worked so hard to get over 10 years in the same town. And that was really hard because it takes many, many years to build up that clientele. So I met my husband. He lived in New Jersey, and we commuted back and forth for a long time. And I decided to move to New Jersey to be with him, and I tried to restart, my business up there, and just couldn't really connect. I was in a really high-end, beautiful salon. It was awesome. I learned a lot, but it was very, very hard for me to get back the feeling I had prior to the, leaving Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I started working for a really large distributor up there, and I became a product manager for a really well-known product line, and I loved it. For the whole tri-state area, I was traveling all around. I was going into different salons. I was, giving product information. I was doing classes in salons. I was launching new products. I was in New York City on photo shoots with, just top-notch stylists, and it was a really exciting time. It was also very stressful because some days I'd be out on, Long Island. Some days I'd be in Connecticut. Some days I'd be, in Manhattan. Some days I'd be in New Jersey. It was really stressful for a small town girl to be driving in all these different places and a new place every single day. But I did it, and again, I think everything happens for a reason, and so that also was part of my story, and it gave me a little bit of background to what I'm doing now as well, not knowing that at the time. So I did that for a while, and then we found out that my husband's business, was going to be bringing us to Florida. So we packed up, and right before we got married, we moved down to Melbourne, Florida, and we were here a few months before we flew back home to do the wedding and come back down here. And so now I've been in Melbourne, Florida for I think almost 13 years now, and finally it feels like home. Not gonna lie, it probably took me 12 and a half of those years to feel like home, but my kids, were raised here now, and it's a really nice place to live. It's just very, very different than Pennsylvania, so I'm finally acclimating, I guess you could say that. So I did start doing hair when I first came to Florida because I didn't have children at that point, and I did it for maybe a year and a half before we decided to start a family, and then we were blessed enough to have 2 little boys, and I was also blessed enough to be able to stay home. So that was awesome. It was an amazing opportunity that again, I was very blessed to have. It was also really different. Going from being a very social person, as you can imagine, a hairstylist, just talking all day to completely different people and, social creature, totally, to going to stay at home with your babies was very, very different. And as much as I loved it and probably needed that downtime for those years, I found it started to make me almost like a hermit. Like I didn't really want to go out anymore, and I thought I was okay with that. And I don't know. I don't think it was a bad thing, but I think overall it probably wasn't the healthiest thing to do because it made me miss Pennsylvania more. I found I wasn't embracing where I was living as much, probably due to just not getting myself out there. Anywho, so why I'm doing this crazy shampoo thing now is I want to just tell everyone I have a really good background. I have a really good story leading up to why I do this. I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to buy shampoo from just some friend who decided to sell something. I am not into all of those companies selling this, that, and the other thing. I've never sold a thing in my entire life. It's not who I am, and it's not who I want to be. I do, however, like to share when I come across something really good. If that be with a friend who's like, oh, I love your blue jeans, Heather, those are awesome. I'm the first person to say, sweet, I got them for $5 down at the, Bell's Outlet. I like to share good stuff. And so between sharing good stuff and falling upon a great hair product line that, again, I feel like with the background that I've had, I know products. My opinion counts for something. I mean, over 20 years of being in the hair industry and working for, like I said, a really high-end product line, I have a lot to compare to. And that being said, I had to take advantage of this situation. And so I did. And so it's been nothing short of a blessing. I met a lot of people through it. I've become way more social. I've been in contact with girls from school, and not just about shampoo. They might reach out to me for shampoo, but then other things take place and we start talking about, catching up with all different things. So socially, it's been fantastic for me. And I know that that's why it was placed, in my life with the background that I have. If it would have been selling candles or something else, there's no way I would have even considered it. It's only because of what it was and how it was placed in my life and the right timing. So that's why I'm doing this. It had to be pretty fantastic for me to jump onto this. And it has been. It has been a really great experience for me and my family. And as much as I did it because the products were fantastic and that's why I started, now I get to see the business side of it and the opportunities. And now I have a little side gig too. So on top of all the other things that it has done for me, it's just been really fantastic. And I just wanted to share my background on my life, and my biggest, darkest secret is now gonna be out there. But again, at my age, I realized that that's my story. And I'm proud of my story because it's made me who I am today. And I think that's really important. So anyway, I hope that, maybe this is dumb or stupid or weird, and it probably is all of that to some of you. And I just feel like it might also touch somebody. Something I said might actually make somebody think, I can relate to that. That's who I am. That's who, that's my background. Or, and that might be how I can help somebody. So I might not be able to get you shampoo that you like. Maybe you don't like it. But maybe I can help you with confidence or why things happen to you in your life and the bigger picture. And sometimes when things go wrong or terrible or bad in your past, it's going to lead you to something really great. And you just never know. We don't know that. Only God knows. And so have faith. And if something comes along, don't be so quick to shut things down because you don't know why they're coming into your life. You just never know. But if you don't try things or look at things and think, hey, this might be a sign or this might be for a reason. If I would have just stayed in my house, if I would have said no to my friend, or I wouldn't have tried her hair products, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. And so I might not be touching somebody that might need this message. So anywho, I said I wasn't going to talk very long before this message. And once I start talking sometimes, then I just vomit all over you. So I apologize for the long message, but I hope that you have a great day, and I hope that this message might help somebody. Thanks.